Should YMYW listeners be saving to their traditional 401ks and IRAs or their Roths? That's up next on this episode of Your Money, Your Wealth podcast. Plus, what are the rules around contributing to two different Roth accounts at the same time? If required minimum distributions are going to be staggered because of a couple's age difference, should they convert to Roth or just leave it alone? But first, the fellas have a Roth conversion withdrawal debate to settle. Click or tap Ask Joe and Big Al on air in the episode description to ask your money questions or to get a retirement spitball analysis of your own. I'm executive producer Andy Last, and here are the hosts of Your Money, Your Wealth, Joe Anderson, CFP, and Big Al Clopine, CPA.
Right, thanks again for joining us. It sounds like a Roth show today, Al.
Apparently, yeah. Well,
do you think there's a theme here?
So no problem.
Yeah, I'm over Roth. Been over Roth for 10 years.
You're over it?
Well, I was just talking about it every week, over and over and over again.
I thought that's all you thought about.
Yeah.
You guys are the Roth brothers now. Come on.
All right, let's dive in.
Okay.
We got, hey, Andy, Joe, Big Al. This is Tyler from Arlington, Virginia. I'm a full-time federal agent, also owns a financial planning firm providing advice-only services to federal employees. All right, Tyler, what's the name of your firm so people can look you up? I've been a huge fan of your show for years now and appreciate all the great information you guys provide. You're part of the reason I got into financial planning. All right.
Nice.
Drink of choice is seltzer water or iced coffee, and non-work vehicle is a Kia Forte. Boring, I know. He's a federal agent. He drinks iced coffee and seltzer water.
It's got to stay sharp.
He's got to
Does. Yeah.
He's got to get jacked.
All right.
On YMYW podcast episode 506. Oh, God, I hate it when people do that. At 1320. Okay, thank you for the very exact.
Also known as 120.
Yeah, like,
PM.
I don't know. How many episodes ago was this?
13 minutes and 20 seconds into the episode, he's saying. So he's calling you out exactly where you said it.
Oh, that's what he's saying.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
All right. The listener asked if he could withdraw his Backdoor Roth IRA contributions to help fund early retirement. You mentioned that he would be subject to a 10% penalty if he withdrew the converted amount within 5 years. I was under the impression that a non-taxable conversion can be withdrawn at any time, even with a 5-year of a backdoor conversion without a 10% penalty. A Q&A on Ed Stott's website, along with articles from CPA Sean Mulaney and CPA Denise Appleby, state that non-taxable conversions, like the backdoor contributions, are not subject to the 5-year conversion rule and will be subject to a 10% penalty if withdrawn prior to the 5 years. These two experts appear...
Excerpts
appear to support the fact that a 10% penalty would only apply to a taxable conversion if withdrawn within the 5 years. So all of this, I don't really care. If you do a conversion, don't take the money out within at least 10 years. It doesn't matter. I guess if it was an emergency, but this guy's doing a conversion to buy his house,
Right.
he probably said it just to tell him not to.
Could be. I forget, but...
My personal CPA, on the other hand, said the 10% penalty would apply to the withdrawal of a backdoor conversion amount if taken in the first 5 years. Can you please settle the debate? Thanks again for all you do. Love the show, Tyler.
Well, I don't exactly remember what we said. It was a few episodes ago. However, I can tell you, Joe, that it's generally with a Roth conversion, if you're under 59 and a half, then you have to wait 5 years for the principal part, right? The part you paid taxes on, to be able to pull that out without penalty. So that's a true statement. So this question was taken to the next step, which is, what if you do backdoor Roth, get the money into a regular IRA where you didn't get any tax deduction, and then you convert that amount? And
that makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of does. And I did a little research on this rather than kind of off the cuff. And I think Tyler is right.
Well, now you think about it.
It does make sense,
because
doesn't
the
it?
10% penalty on the conversion is only to avoid people to take dollars out of a retirement account before 59 and a half.
Yeah.
That took a tax deduction. So,
Right.
hey, I received a tax deduction in my 401k or my IRA, was pre-tax, and I'm under 59 and a half, and I'm going to take the money out.
Yeah.
People would convert their retirement accounts, pay the tax,
Right.
and then take the money out the next day.
Right.
So it was a loophole in the law.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, let's close the loophole. So if you do a conversion and then you want to take the money out, even though you paid the tax, you still have to wait 5 years.
Right.
So with this, it was already after-tax dollars that was accessible already, right? So you took money from your checking account or money market account or whatever, you put it into the IRA then converted it, I suppose that makes sense that those dollars could be accessible because you never got the tax benefit to begin with by putting the dollars in the retirement account.
And publication 590B
Oh,
on
yeah.
page 33.
Did
I
you
know
memorize it?
no, I got it right here. But it says to that effect. It says that you don't have to pay penalties on the part you did not include in income on the conversion. So that seems to state that Tyler's right. And again, I'm not sure what we said. That was a few episodes ago, but whatever we
You're
said.
not going to go back and listen to it.
No, are you?
No, no. So, all right. Well, hey, good luck with the career in financial planning and being a federal agent, and all the best. And yeah, if you're a federal employee and you need some help, you got to look up Tyler. No idea where Tyler's firm is. What's the name?
We know he's in Arlington, Virginia, which makes
He's in
sense if he's a
Arlington,
federal
Virginia.
agent.
Yeah, look him up.
Yeah, he's calling us out. So,
Which is fine. I'm fine with that.
I could care. All right, we got Kimberly from New York. Just a quick question. I have a work 403B, a Roth IRA, and a brokerage account. My work also offers a Roth 403B. Okay. Should I be using my Roth my 403B Roth? Am I allowed to have two Roths? Quick answer is yes. You can do a Roth IRA and a Roth 403B. So you can do a Roth 401k and a Roth IRA.
Right.
So 401ks or 403bs are different than IRAs. So yeah, you can definitely double up there.
Yeah, and I think, Joe, a lot of people don't really realize that you can completely max out your Roth 401k, 403b, whatever, and still do a Roth IRA contribution. So that's still available. It's considered to be different.
Okay, let's move on to Kate from Cleveland, Ohio. Goes, hey, Joe, Big Al, and Andy. This is Kate from Cleveland. I'm 36, single, and drive a Acura Integra. My favorite drink is bourbon. In my spare time, I try to golf as much as I can. Oh, Kate from Cleveland, Ohio. Got something in common with you.
You do.
I have approximately 450 saved in investments, 300,000 in my traditional TSP, $40,000 in my Roth TSP, 50,000 in taxable brokerage, 45 in a Roth IRA, 15,000 in an HSA. I'm sure Al will add all that stuff up momentarily. So if you weren't following, no problem.
Well, she already said it's about 450,000
total.
Yeah, total.
All right. Current income is 150 annually, and I'm maxing out my traditional TSP, Roth IRA, and HSA. I usually add another $5,000 to $10,000 into my brokerage account. Man, what do you live off of? What kind of bourbon do you drink, and what courses are you playing?
It's the public course on Tuesday.
I feel like I'm in good overall financial position. However, I work in federal law enforcement, which adds some different nuances to retirement. And would love to hear your thoughts. Plan on retiring at age 50. And I'll become eligible for my full pension, conservatively estimated at $65,000 annually, and also have full access to my TSP withdrawals with no penalty as special category government employee. All right, so got a couple questions. Number one, switching my TSP contributions from traditional to Roth because my pension plus Social Security, when I take it, will pretty much always fill up the lower brackets. Number two, continue traditional contributions and just plan for Roth conversions. Or number three, lower my TSP contributions down to the match and put everything else into a taxable brokerage to limit RMDs in the future. For spitball purposes, my anticipated spending in retirement will be approximately $110,000. Appreciate any jokes, criticisms, and insights. All right, Kate.
Okay, so she's asking, should she go Roth or traditional in her TSP contributions? And for a little context, she's in the 24% tax bracket. So what do you think?
Let's see. She's going to have a really good sized pension, 65. Well, is Kate going to get married? Because that will change.
Could change, yeah.
That could change her tax bracket.
Right.
The question she's asking has nothing to do with like what she's going to do in retirement.
Yeah. Well, she's only 36, so it's a little early. But she wants to retire at 50.
Yeah. Because she's a badass cop that
14
drinks
years.
bourbon and plays golf. I don't know. Yeah, at 36, you're in the 24% tax bracket. She's probably She's saving a ton of money. She's got 300,000 in the TSP now. She's got another 15 years of fully funding that. I would go Roth if I were her at the 24% tax bracket. I still think that's a decent rate.
Right.
If her income continued to increase, then I would probably, or if tax rates changed, I would try to stay in the 24.
Right.
And so I would split the contributions. If let's say if I
Right.
jumped into the next bracket,
Yeah.
so I would just take a look at what those brackets are each year. But I like Roth at the 24.
I think I agree with you because she's in the 24% bracket. She makes a good salary at 36. You know, I don't know federal government what her prospects are for a higher salary or higher roles, but chances are at 36 doing as well as she is, she'll probably promote and make more money, maybe be in higher tax brackets later. You know what? If that seems like too much to go all Roth from TSP, maybe you could do 50-50 if that's a little easier to stomach. But yeah, I like the idea of going Roth.
50-50. That's like the worst advice I think I've ever heard.
That's
It's not advice, it's a spitball.
you dip your toe in and see how you like it.
Well, you're so scientific most of the time.
I know, but there you go.
Got it. All right. I like Roth in the 24. She creeped up, then I would go pre-tax, but
Yeah, I agree with you.
50-50.
I'm just saying some people when they do that, then they they have a lot less take home and it doesn't feel as
If
good.
I ever saw, I'm like, why are you going 50-50? They're like, Big Al told me.
Well, I'm just saying what I might do.
All right.
How about that?
Okay.
It's important to understand Roth accounts and how they work so you can take full advantage of the lifetime tax-free investment growth that they offer. Click or tap the link in the episode description to download the ultimate guide to Roth IRAs for free. You'll have valuable information in print, mind you, about how Roth contributions and conversions allow you to keep and grow more of your money. Plus, you heard the fellows mention the infamous Backdoor Roth strategy earlier. This guide explains how it can help even if you make too much money to contribute directly to a Roth. Plus, learn the differences and pros and cons of saving in a traditional IRA versus a Roth IRA versus a Roth 401k, the rules for taking money out of your Roth account, and much more. Click or tap the link in the episode description to download your copy of the ultimate guide to Roth IRAs and share YMYW and all the free financial resources with anyone you know who would benefit.
All right, let's move on. We got, hi, Andy, Joe, Big Al. This is Neo, 66 Yao from San Clemente, with another no-brainer spitball question for you to answer while I'm walking on the beach as I continue to recover from brain surgery.
Oh boy.
Wow. It is going as expected and fortunately coming along well. I'm still going to crack an 805 once I'm 100% recovered. On the first tee in Trinity. All right, on the first tee.
He's going to crack an 805 on the first tee once he's fully recovered.
Yep, I can picture that.
Okay.
And then Trinity.
And Trinity.
His wife.
63-year-old still prefers and Trinity, 63-year-old. Who's Trinity?
His wife. It's Neo and Trinity.
Neo and Trinity.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. You know how many times someone said that to me?
I would imagine a lot.
Millions. Millions. Mr. Anderson.
Just like that.
God. I'm like, just get the hell out of here. Still prefer a pomegranate martini. This time I'm wondering about saving in traditional IRA versus Roth IRA to self-insure for long-term care expenses, which are way expensive to buy at my age. So self-insuring seems like a logical choice. Should I convert all of my $1.2 million IRA to Roth in the next few years before I take Social Security at 70? In 2028, 58,000. Okay. Or should I hold 300,000 plus in a tax deferred account since I think long-term care expenses are tax deductible? Trans pension is about $80,000 in 2024, and Social Security should be 50% of my FPA benefit, which should be $23,000 in 2028. Currently, we have about $115,000 in high yield savings, $1.2 million in an IRA, 401k, $36K in a Roth, as well as $500,000 in a brokerage account. We're going to retire this month, $330,000 in income in 2024, so already in the 24% tax bracket. Converting the top, how old is this thing?
He's 66.
Oh, no, 12. This was in December.
This email's from December.
Yeah,
We're a little
yeah,
behind.
A little bit.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Converted to the top of the 24% tax bracket in 25, 26, and 22, and 27 through 29. Okay. Leave somewhere around. All right. Love the show. Learned a ton. Figured out my plan by listening to archived episodes. About 150 of them.
Wow.
That's
Neo, holy
impressive.
cow.
Can you imagine?
150 episodes?
And he
Yeah.
says the real world examples set you guys apart. See, that's why we keep doing the Roth show.
Okay. All right.
So, all right.
So should he convert the whole 1.2
No.
million
I don't know. He's
in 4 years?
no.
It's too much.
Way too much. Stay in the 22% tax bracket. You're retiring. Go to the 22% tax bracket. And if long-term care is going to be tax deductible, so you want to pull the long-term care cost out of your IRA versus a Roth.
Yeah, you don't really necessarily want to convert everything just for that reason. And plus, the other thing too is you look at your tax bracket when you're paying the tax on the conversion versus your retirement bracket. And being retired, they'll be in a lower bracket. Something you have to consider though, at the end of 2025, unless the tax laws are extended, we go back to the old laws from 2018, which are no longer 10, 12, 22, 24. They're 10%, 15, 25, 28, and then they ratchet up from there.
What do you think? They're going to get extended.
I
right?
think that's a good, it seems like they get extended, but you got to watch that though, right? If you're thinking about a 4-year plan, you got to make sure that the taxes are where you want them to be when you do these conversions. But I would say in 2025, if you want to do a bigger conversion in 25, you could even do the top of the 24. But there's no reason why you would convert the whole 1.2 million.
No.
And in fact, there's no reason to stop doing conversions when 58,000 of Social Security comes in. You still have an opportunity before RMDs.
Yeah, there's an $80,000 pen. I mean, it sounds like the fixed income is good.
Yeah.
The RMD, and they're still young, 66 and 63.
Yep.
So they have roughly 10 years to get a lot of this out.
That's right.
1.2 million. I mean, if you just, if you go big in 24, I don't know. 24% tax bracket's giant. If they don't have a ton of income, they could probably convert 24%. I mean, like 200 grand.
Yeah, if they want to go that far, and they've got the brokerage account to pay the tax. That again, that could make sense mathematically, but it's another thing where you can, when you get your tax return and you got this big tax bill, are you okay with that?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that you're doing all right, bud.
Yeah, me too.
Keep plugging and chugging, and that 805 is coming right down the pike here for you. We got Mike from Western PA. Thank you in advance for your evaluation. It's not an evaluation, Mike. It's not advice. It's a spitball. I'm 67, yo. My wife's 69, yo. I plan to retire with my wife at age 70. A couple of years. We have $5 million in retirement. $1 million in Roth. 400,000 of that is for me. What are you going to do with that, Mike? 400 of that is for me. Or is 400 of the million yours?
I think that's what he means.
But it's all for me. Sound like my 3-year-old. That's mine. That's for me. Don't touch it. 600 of the Roth belongs to my wife. We have $700,000 in a brokerage account. We plan to spend $20,000 to $25,000 per month in retirement. Does it make sense to do Roth conversions with the remaining $4 million? Alternatively, could we just leave the accounts alone, since we'll be taking RMDs at different stages based on our age difference? Okay, we're currently in the 22-24% tax bracket. Thanks again for any thoughts. You have $5 million. He's 67, 69. So
yeah, 4 is in tax deferred, 1's in Roth.
Right. So Mike, no, you still want to do conversions. Let's say $4 million. 4 times 4 is 16. So your RMD is 160 plus.
Yep.
And it's only going to go up from there. So yeah, you want to continue to convert out. How you think about it from an age difference is that you would want to convert your wife's out first, because she's going to hit the RMD age sooner. Or you look at who has the larger balance. But I would usually go with the older person to convert that out.
I would too. I'd go with the older person just because they'll hit RMD first. Yeah, no, there's definitely looks like be some good room to do conversions. How much should you convert? I mean, basically, you look at that. You look at that your tax bracket between now and RMD age, what the tax bracket's going to be then. Then that'll give you a better sense on how much to convert. But let's see, you say you're in the 22 to 24% bracket. You could go to the top of the 22 or even to the top of the 24 if you want.
So their Social Security is going to be $72,000 a year at age 70. So
Right.
72,000 minus the standard deduction. Go to the 24. You could probably convert $300,000 out.
Right.
I would definitely be thinking about that over the next few years at $5 million. I mean, that RMD only gets higher.
It does.
And then if one person dies, even though this is morbid, but guess what? It's still the same RMD, but then you just cut your tax rates in half. So you hit those higher tax rates a lot quicker with income because the top of the 12 and the 22 and 24% tax brackets are cut in half. So I would utilize the 24 as much as you can while you're both young and healthy, because as you age, that RMD continues to increase. And unfortunately, one spouse usually dies before the other, and then you want to give a lot of that maybe to the next generation or things of that nature. And the IRS ends up getting a lot more than you thought, especially with that big of a balance of a retirement account.
Yeah, I think to me that's the key. Given their age, they got $4 million in a retirement account. The thought of getting more of that out with a Roth conversion, to me, that makes a lot of sense. You could look at the 22% bracket. You could look at the 24% bracket. I would not go above 24%. Be careful there. There's no reason to pay any more tax than that. But yeah, certainly this year we know for sure we have the 24% tax bracket. Next year we'll have to see. It may be extended, but it may not. We'll just have to see.
Okay, moving along. We got hi, Joe, Big Al, and Andy. This is Joe from North Carolina. I'm 38-year-old, single, no children. I've been listening to your show for about a year while on my daily 4-mile walks. 4-mile walks a day.
That's a lot of listening.
That's impressive. How many times do you have to go up and down your stairwell to get 4 miles?
Well, I typically walk about 5 a day.
5 miles a day.
But that includes everything, like walking from my car to the office, because I just track my steps in my phone and my miles that way.
What is it? How many steps?
10,000.
That's 5 miles?
For me. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. How about you? How much do you walk?
I don't know. I bike like probably on the old Peloton.
Well, that counts. That works.
That's about 60 miles a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
My drink of choice is a craft beer. It's a little too early for me to be thinking about retirement, but I like your spitball about whether I should contribute to, guess what? A traditional or a Roth. Here we go.
We got a theme going.
38 years old. He's got $1.3 million in savings.
How can that be?
At 38. How much money did you have at 38?
$4.
Yeah, I didn't have 1.3. Oh my God. I currently rent, have no debt. My gross income is $200,000 a year. I spend about 50 grand. Spend more money, dude. He's walking. Stop walking. Maybe sit down.
Get a car.
Watch a movie. Spend a little cash. No, 50,000. Good for him, man. About 5 years ago, I realized my company allowed for the Megatron. He has been listening for a while. In addition to the regular Backdoor Roth, my yearly savings is roughly 34 401k plus match, 35 Backdoor Megatron, 35 Brokerage. Since the pre-tax contributions keep me in the 24% tax bracket, I find it difficult to give up all that tax break now. Although I know Joe is going to try to convince me to go all Roth. Yeah, you're 38 years old. You're in the 24% tax bracket. That's a low bracket historically. We would have loved just to be in the 24% tax bracket just a few years ago. You're going to be in the 28, Joe. Take advantage of the 24. Thanks for all the great content. I recommend your show to as many people as I can. All right. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations, by the way. 38 years old, 1.3 million.
That's
saving a ton.
It's pretty amazing.
He's single.
Yep.
No children.
Doing a lot of things right.
Just wait till he finds that significant other.
beautiful lady, and starts to have kids. Do things change
Yeah.
from experience?
Yeah. Yeah. I waited a
A couple years.
I waited until I was in my late 40s.
Yep,
Yep. I was living Joe's life.
you were.
I was.
Yeah,
It was great. My life is perfect.
yeah, I know it is.
Okay. I don't know. I already said my answer.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'll just say this. If you get into the 32% bracket, you might want to do the traditional just to get back to the 24, but make sure you utilize all the 24% bracket. So you're taking advantage of that and getting the Roth dollars while you're in that bracket.
How much money will you need to have saved by the time you retire? It's probably more than you think, and many factors impact whether your retirement savings will last as long as you do. This week on a brand new episode of Your Money, Your Wealth TV, find out from Joe and Big Al how your lifestyle and spending, your longevity and healthcare, inflation and taxes, and where you retire all impact the kind of life you'll live in retirement. They'll teach you financial moves that can help you become a millionaire and income strategies so you don't run out of money. Plus, download the Retirement Lifestyles Guide to make the most of your lifestyle, growth, health, and relationships in retirement. Click or tap the link in the episode description to watch Will Your Money Last Through Retirement and to download the Retirement Lifestyles Guide. Yours free, courtesy of Your Money, Your Wealth, and Pure Financial Advisors.
Hi, Joe, Big Al, and Andy. I'm Herc.
Herc.
Herc?
Herc and Angel.
Hercules?
I think so.
That's kind of a cool name.
Herc.
61, 61 and a half. She is Angel at 60 and a half. We are both divorced. We've been together for 13 years. So they were married and divorced and still together? Or
I have a
both
feeling they
divorced
were
from
each
other
married
people?
to other people, and they're each divorced and have been together since then.
That's what I get out of it too. They were divorced with other people.
Got it. Okay. We haven't yet gotten around to get married. Oh, well, I should have just read one more sentence. I enjoy your podcast, and I hope you can help us out. Drink of choice for me is the lager, vodka, or whiskey. All right. Hers is sherry. Wow. It's the last time I had a sherry.
I didn't even know they made that still.
Well, screwball. All right. That's made right here in Southern California, San Diego. And Pinot Grigio. Or tea with honey bourbon. Wow, you guys have a lot of little favorite
Yeah, they do.
choice here. We also like martinis and margaritas and just anything else that has booze in it.
Yeah, they're kind of like
there
those
anything-
people that said, we'll drink anything alcoholic.
Yeah, we'll just drink it, even gasoline. She drives a 2015 Nissan Rogue. I drive a 2015 Toyota RAV4. I plan to buy a new or slightly used SUV in the next year. With cash, we both work local government in Massachusetts and both will collect traditional pensions. We would both like to retire in 2026 at the ages of 63 and 62, respectively. At that point, our estimated combined pensions will be $216,000. There's a survivor benefit equal to 2/3 of the pension allowance. There is a modest COLA, 3% on the first $16,000, but we are not factoring that. We are subject to the windfall elimination provision, and we are not factoring in Social Security. When did he write this?
This was also in December. This was before the Social Security weapon GPO change.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's going to be even better.
Our house is worth $620,000, and we have $220,000 remaining on a mortgage of 3.75%. Angel has about $2,500 remaining in her car loan. We have no other debt. My two kids are on their own, and her son will graduate college in May 2025. We have no college debt and expect the kids will be self-sufficient. Current annual expenses, including the mortgage and contributions to savings and brokerage accounts, are approximately $180,000 a year. Expenses in retirement expected to be $200,000 a year. We're planning to travel extensively in retirement.
Well, so they got-
Our mothers are in their 90s, and we're each to stand to receive an inheritance, unknown amounts. We're not factoring inheritance into the planning. It feels like we are in pretty good shape. Well, you have a $220,000 pension,
And they have $1 million. So
And
that's pretty good.
and you want to spend $200,000.
So
I
you're
know.
you're good.
There's the math. Herc, think you're good.
Oh, here's the questions.
I am concerned about our tax liability in retirement due to our pensions and 457s that will grow for the next decade plus before our RMDs kick in. Here's the spitball. Should we start doing conversions? Yes. Should we dial back our pre-tax contributions and put more into a taxable brokerage account or cash? No, I would go all Roth. At what point should we reduce our stock holdings and move towards bonds? I wouldn't. You don't need the money. You're living off your pension and Social Security. What pension and stocks and bonds should we aim for? Whatever your risk tolerance is. This is just rapid fire. Big
It
Al.
is. I like it.
Should we ditch the annuity? Yes.
Okay, I'm going to read my answers.
All right, there you go. What's yours?
Should we start
I
doing
feel
Roth?
like this is the family feud.
Should we start doing Roth conversions? Yes. Should we dial back our pre-tax contribution, put more into taxable brokerage? No, but go into the Roth.
Oh, wow. Okay, number one answer. Ding, 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 ding.
At what point do we reduce our stock holdings and move into bonds or safer investments? Depends upon your goals, which is the same answer for the next one. How much to have in stocks and bonds? Last one, should we ditch the annuity? Need more info, but likely yes.
All right. Very good.
Okay. I guess
Cool.
we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page there.
Yep.
Yeah, you're doing fine. You're doing great. You got great pensions. I thought the question was going to be, do we get married? I
Yeah.
thought that was coming.
Yeah.
With a couple $100,000 pensions? And then with $1 million in retirement accounts?
It's looking sweet.
Yeah.
This is the
think they could
bonus round of
travel.
Family Feud.
Well, no, it's just like, well, I don't know. If they get married from a tax perspective, we're getting a lot of those questions, right? Should
Yeah.
we get married because of tax? Because that, anyway,
Well, you get married for love.
yes. Thank you, Reverend Al.
You're welcome.
All right, we got Ricky Bobby from Charlotte, North Carolina. Shake and bake. Hey, John Big Al, I've listened to your podcast twice after seeing my suggested list on Apple Podcasts.
And I will never listen to it
And
again.
and this is the worst I've ever heard in my life.
Beep.
Bleep.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. Now, what did he say? And I think I may be hooked.
Oh, that's different than what you thought.
Yes. I wanted to send you my family situation to get your thoughts on a little spitball. Okay. Currently, my wife and I, we're both 33 years old, both work in tech consulting and make $310,000 combined. Bonus puts us closer to 330 or 350. The problem is, both of us really don't enjoy our jobs, and we both want to stop working in the field as soon as possible. Whether that looks like switching careers or finding a much less stressful job, we're not sure yet. Here's our financial picture. We spend $80,000 a year on expenses and expect to increase that to about $100,000 annually for the next 4 years that our daughter is about to start daycare. All right. We have 2 paid off cars, a paid off house purchased in 2019, $150,000 in a taxable brokerage, $40,000 in a rainy day savings account, $600,000 in traditional and Roth 401ks. We've also managed to save over $80,000 per year the last 3 years while we attacked our mortgage payoff and stacked up our taxable brokerage. So we have the ability to mega save. I love mega save.
Yeah, me too.
But it gets a little trickier with kids moving forward. What would you suggest the plan of attack be? Stack up brokerage as high as possible while we are in tech and fed up and feed off of that account when we're done with tech. Get the brokerage high enough for it to be sufficient, and we take significantly lower paying jobs that can pay for our day-to-day expenses and healthcare. We both love to be working part-time jobs and financially independent by the time we're 43, so we can enjoy our kids and have more freedom. Happy to hear your thoughts. Thanks, Ricky. Okay, hates his job, makes $300, almost $400.
Mm-hmm. Between the two of them.
Okay. They have, let's see, 600,000, 750.
Yeah, call it 800.
$800,000
Yep.
at 33 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, God bless you, Ricky. Man, you got some savers in the group.
We sure do.
Okay, and he's saving $85,000 a year. So he's like, all right, where should I put this 85 grand?
Right.
So he's 33, wants to retire at 43. But does he want to retire at 43 and then just work part-time jobs? Or
Yeah.
is it, hey, I want to retire right away and then work part-time jobs?
I think what I'm getting is that they want to work. They want to stockpile a bunch of money. At 43, they want to either work less or work part-time or change careers. That's what I think he's saying.
Okay. All right.
I think, yeah, building up the brokerage account, yeah, that would be a good thing to do. I mean, that's kind of true in all three of these scenarios.
I would fully fund the 401k plans. Here's what I'm gonna
For sure.
Here's my suggestion. Both of you fully fund the 401k plan. Okay. Anything after that, then I'm doing Roth IRAs if I qualify. If not, I'm going to do the backdoor Roth IRA. But and then from there, anything after that, I'm going to funnel into the brokerage account.
Yeah.
Out of that 85 grand. That's what I would do. And then at age 43, you have $800,000, right? And say he's got 10 years.
Yep.
And let's say you get 7% over that 10 years, hypothetically, and you save $85,000 a year.
Right.
You're going to have roughly $2.7 million at age 43.
And if you're spending 80,000 plus a little more for kids, right? You could
That's 82,000 at 3%.
Yeah.
But I bet you don't even have to touch that. Both of you get a little part-time kind of hobby work that's a lot less stressful. But the trick is, can you make it another 10 years of saving $85,000 a year and working in a job you hate? 10 years, well, I don't know. I've done it 17.
Are you saying you hate your job? Come on now.
No, I was seeing if Alan was listening to me.
Back at you. How about that?
Been doing this for the last 18 years, Al, but I keep coming back because that fat paycheck.
You know, for me, it's been 19 years of drudgery and.
Well, 10 years. You can make it 10 years, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
You got this.
Now, if we read this wrong, if they're wanting to retire sooner, they've got good savings. Get as much as you can into savings.
So yeah,
but then have jobs that at least pay for your expenses, so you're not touching your principal.
Yeah, 800,000 will turn to 1.6 million. Let's say, just do the rule of 72. Just double that money every 10 years.
Right, and live and make enough to live off what you need, right? And then let that keep growing. And then when you want to stop working altogether, you'll probably have enough money to do it.
Yeah. So at age 53, you're going to have a roughly, I don't know, $3.5 million, give or take.
Yeah.
And then that probably, given inflation, you're still going to be a little bit short.
Yeah,
but you're cutting cold turkey at 33. You've already saved a ton. You can save a little bit more over the next couple of years. I think you're going to be just
I would keep
fine.
grinding a while and then go part-time, change careers, whatever, and make enough to cover your expenses.
Yeah, with kids, though, it's always tough.
It is.
No?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, do you think
I would have left a long time ago if I didn't.
if you,
Now we got these little ones.
you have to
No,
work,
I was like,
have
oh
to
my
get out of the house?
Yeah, well, that and
Can you
they're
imagine that?
expensive.
And 24 hours a day?
They're expensive.
I know they are.
You want to spoil them. You want to make sure they're taken care of. You want to, So that's it for us. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Bring your questions in. We'll answer them. Is that it, Andy? Are we good?
Sure. Thanks for doing that.
You're welcome. Thank you, Alan.
It was fun.
Thank you, Aaron. All right. We'll see you again next week. Show's called Your Money, Your Wealth.
Those of you who watch us do the YMYW podcast on YouTube have been getting feisty in the comments lately, especially in response to episode 513. So last week we made a video just to address your questions and feedback. Find it exclusively on our YouTube channel, or just click the link in the episode description to watch Is a Market Correction Coming in 2025? YMYW podcast Q&A and feedback. Click or tap Ask Joe and Al to send us your questions or comments, even the feisty ones. YMYW is your podcast. We just make it for you. Tell a friend we're over here making fun of finance on Your Money, Your Wealth. Your Money, Your Wealth is presented by Pure Financial Advisors. Click or tap the free financial assessment link in the episode description or call 888-994-6257 and schedule a comprehensive review of your entire financial picture with one of the experienced professionals on Joe and Big Al's team at Pure. It doesn't cost anything and you aren't committed to anything, and they'll help you craft a plan that meets your unique needs and goals in retirement. Meet in person at one of Pure's offices around the country or online at a date and time convenient convenient for you, no matter where you are. Pure Financial Advisors is a registered investment advisor. This show does not intend to provide personalized investment advice through this podcast and does not represent that the securities or services discussed are suitable for any investor. As rules and regulations change, podcast content may become outdated. Investors are advised not to rely on any information contained in the podcast in the process of making a full and informed investment decision.